And the first thing you need to know about me is that I'm a mixed race, very particular mix. My mum's white, my dad is a dickhead. I'm also middle class, which explains my voice. So I was like, you're trying to colonise my face? Grew up in a white house in a very white neighbourhood. So despite having an afro, I would describe my style and vibe as white geography teacher who thinks they don't play by the rules. Sort of Ignis rock and roll, if you like. I feel like I'd just be saying, guys, if we don't know Oxbow Lakes, how can we know ourselves? My family tried to be supportive, they said they meant sea colour. Well, I think it's quite short-sighted, or skin tone deaf, if you will. I read the other lack of credentials. I thought that jerk chicken was a character in Angry Birds. I thought wine was something you have with dinner. In fact, I've got such a lack of credentials. I wouldn't even like first in a horror film. People ask, who are playing in the film of your life? And it turns out, mine's Timothy fucking Chalamet. Well, that wasn't enough to convince you of why wouldn't it be? I also go to the countryside to visit my family. One of the whitest things you can possibly do. Like a lot of white families, we have quite a few racist relatives, but the stakes for me are significantly higher. Sometimes it's no fun being black when you've got a Ku Klux Nan. I think that being black in the countryside is a bit like being a rare species of bird, in that a lot of old white people stare at you because they can't believe they've seen you in the wild and are afraid to make any sudden movements. Second thing about me is that I'm vegan, but don't worry, it's only 60% of my personality. Not content with being Jules on my own, and convinced my girlfriend to go vegan. Nothing beats a car nut in reading recipes with any trace of dairy. And this ain't vegans, then how to have fun. Madness. Our favourite thing to do together is make vegan pizza. You just can't top it. But things haven't always been sending. Our love life hasn't been what it was. In fact, you could say, much like our diet, our love life has gone meat-free. Recently, if one of us sent an aubergine emoji, it wasn't sexy, it's just what we're having for dinner. So we're trying to spice things up, but being vegan, we're used to spicing up bland things. Me and my girlfriend went to a vegan Caribbean restaurant the other day. Now, I don't know if you've ever felt yourself take part in gentrification in real time before. It doesn't feel great. It's alright when I go in, I mean, look at me. But what about when Caribbean artists go in, they sit down, they look at the menu, which to them is a hate crime, and then the owners come out, who are magically called Horatio and Humphrey, and come bounding over and try to convince them that actually, the seitan curry goat is to die for. You wouldn't fancy their chances. Being vegan's great, but it's terrible for comedy. Take the classic joke, why did the chicken cross the road? For vegans it would be, why did the chicken cross the road? To escape barbaric battery farming? No good. Last thing for me before I go, I'll come clean, I can't drive. But I did try to learn. Initially I wasn't bothered, but the idea of taking my future pregnant wife to the hospital on the 213 bus, where I managed to give birth in front of 20 random strangers who are like all bus passengers, will pretend it's not happening, made me give it a go. When I first got in the car, my instructor said, "Can you find the clutch for me?" Now, that's a perfectly reasonable request, but I panicked and I said, "No, but my defence wasn't meant struggle to find it." She wasn't impressed, and when it came to roundabouts, we just went round in circles. By the time she asked me to use my wipers, so the wipers were wiping away the last of my dignity. How many other guys? What do you do when the traffic light goes green? No, you panic, freeze, and shout at your instructor, "Why don't you just do it for fuck's sake?" It really was one panic after another. I'd often stalled in opportune moments, causing massive traffic jams behind me. And I'd be screaming, swearing, crying. But to be fair to her, I pushed my instructor right to the edge. Things came to a head, and she said she needed to have a break. But I said, you've got one, haven't you? You've done it pretty hard during our lessons. So pretty clear the driving lessons weren't working out, so we decided to part them and leave the dark times behind us. You may have had driving lessons, but I had a crash course. Thank you very much.